Hi, it's Raleigh Girl. I am back with the cards that I have made from the Carta Halloween Market paper pack, and I am thrilled. Here I was just showing the reverse side of the paper that I had picked since it was such a good match with the gray and the white. I just thought I had gone so white and black and gray that I needed to add more orange, and I used that Sizzix die to help create a backdrop for that skeleton tag that was in the ephemera. Here I put the glue on, then realized, oops, got to take it off because I need a ribbon. I was surprised how easily just a piece of scrap cream paper on my craft desk came together to do a nice backing for the tag. So it's super easy. He looks great kind of at an angle. He looks great with the Happy Halloween. He looks fantastic like that. I was very torn which way to go, but since I had decided, I already knew I wanted him popped up. I thought not make it too busy. Trick or Treat was already on the paper, and just go with my initial thought. I wind up cutting the ribbon, putting some score tape behind it to hold it down onto the card. You'll see that in the final shots at the end of the video where I show the pictures. But I mean, doesn't he look good at an angle? You really can't mess anything up in this card pack or paper pack. So here, I think I came up with the most unusual of my group. And on this, I believe I make 7 cards. I know I have 6 more already cut and designed. I just haven't done a video for it. I don't want these videos to be too long, so I thought it would be easier on me and you guys to make them shorter videos. I have sped this up, I think 3 times. So if it's too fast, let me know in the comments. Say, hey, slow it down. I can't really see, but I feel like everyone knows how to do this. It's just remembering which way different designers assemble their cards. So this was a Sizzix die. This is an older die where it's bats and skulls. It's one of those long, skinny dies. I chose the Psychic card from the journal card paper, and the mirrored cardstock is for that crystal ball. I thought that needs to be a crystal ball. And the idea behind this card was that the black and white paper, although it's not the exact paper from the set, I wanted it to look like an awning or a flag. And then put the Psychic banner up, almost like it was an advertisement for a company. And then I remembered in my dies, this is a last year die, so it's still available. That little base has a strip of silver cardstock, not silver glitter cardstock on it, and that's what I point out. Anyways, the crystal ball I thought would look good in the mirrored cardstock, and then I added a bat from that garland. Well, I added the liquid glue. I do not recommend that. I do not recommend that any liquid glue on that mirrored cardstock because it just smeared. Everything sticks really well with just a small amount of adhesive. I would have been better off to have run that through my little Xyron sticker maker and just stick the bat down. But it worked. It came out, and I know because of that Tim Holtz glue, it's down for good. Thought that area needed just a little bit more sparkle, and the stars are from the same set as the crystal ball. And when I bought that set, I bought it for the crystal ball and thought, when am I going to use a crystal ball? And then this paper pack came out. Just add the little stars, and whenever I use glitter, whenever I'm using some like paper to stick on top of glitter, I always use that Tim Holtz glue. It dries matte. You can't tell that if any spills over is on there, and it holds everything really well. And I really want my cards to stay together. I've made so many cards. I'm thinking about selling the cards on my Etsy shop. I don't have anything on the Etsy shop right now, but I am thinking about it. But I really want to focus on these videos. They're just so much fun to do. So again, I use that black and white cardstock from a separate paper pack. The Halloween Market has a striped set. It's just on the back of the journal cards, and I just didn't want to sacrifice any of those. The images are so gorgeous. I just love them. So just made a banner. And then I used some mirrored cardstock to go directly behind the cat. I used that black mirrored cardstock and used a strip of glitter paper for the labels behind the cat. The 2 labels that I stacked, that is from Tim Holtz label set. The one directly behind the cat that is in the mirrored cardstock is from that Rachel Bright Sizzix set, which I don't believe is available anymore, but I know that it was a good seller and a lot of people probably have that one. You might even be able to find it on eBay or Etsy or find something similar. It's not an unusual style. That I'm just showing my die cuts with a view glitter pack, and I think it's called glitzy paper. And just glue her down. And this was a very simple card to make. Very clean. And the cat is just so fantastic. I wanted her to be spotlighted on a card. She's tiny, but she's fabulous. Pop her up on some Scotch foam tape. And I add a little bling to the corner of the flag, and it's done. So there she is. I mean, you really couldn't ask for a simpler card, and for someone who loves cats, they would be thrilled with that card. At the end, I add some bling to it. This one, I had to use the Halloween Market, and she looked great. I chose the skull orange paper. She looked great in front of the cobwebs, but I had done so many black and white cards, and you'll see in the next video, it kind of like I try to even out the orange black and white to the black and white, because not everybody wants just black and white, although I love it and think it looks very elegant. I used an embossing folder. You could use any embossing folder for that plain black cardstock. It just gives it a little texture. If you had polka dots, raindrops, spider webs, stripes, anything, and it just kind of knocks it up a level. I stuck this one flat down, and because I thought this one might be a good one to mail or sell. And then those little flags came in the ephemera, just like the market cart picture. And I just kind of mess around, trying to find the exact right spot. I wind up gluing that one flat, and then the striped one, I cut it shorter and pop it up on a little Scotch foam tape. And I just pick up my foam tape at Target.com. And they have 2 sizes now. It used to just be one. They have 2 sizes now. I think they've kind of gotten with the program and realized, hey, all these card makers and scrapbookers are buying this stuff. Let's make a couple sizes. So just kind of mess around with that. I wanted the edges of the flag to also be popped up and not get bent if it was mailed. So I make sure I get little triangles cut out and put behind that flag. And this one's a great one for using your stickers. You could truly put stickers all over the card. There's tons of little candy stickers. I chose 2 lollipops, and then there's a little tiny sticker that is 3 little gumballs, and I put that in the bottom corner. This was a fun paper pack to play with. I highly recommend it. And all I purchased for this set was the paper pack, the 12 by 12 paper pack, and then the extra ephemera from scrapbook.com. This, I had to do the skeleton. He's from the journal card. See, I just could not cut that journal card paper up. The images were too good. So I used my stitch dies and I cut that paper, that plattish diamond paper with the largest. The next down, I cut my silver glitter cardstock, and then the next down I cut the skeleton out and just gave him a really finished look. Like on the psychic one, I just cut that out on my paper trimmer, just like a sign would be. On this one, I wanted to just kick him up a notch and give him a border. You know how the dies really give a finished look. The little trick or treat is from that Sizzix Rachel Bright set. The stamp and the die to cut out that little sign are from that. So I get him down good, clean him up, and add some, after I add the little trick or treat sign, I add some flags to the top. And just kind of mess them out. I did the black one first, and of course, since there was glitter behind it and different levels, I like to have actual glue. And then I shortened this one, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch, and stick it straight down. So there's nothing on this card that's raised. This will mail beautifully. And then at the very end, I decide that his cane needs a rhinestone. I mean, could he be more fantastic? Just seriously, could he be more fantastic? And it's unexpected, I think, because he's a skeleton. But he is wearing a top hat, so. This one, probably the simplest card. I use that bat embossing folder from Sizzix. And again, those type embossing folders, I don't typically buy full price. I typically buy them on sale after the season has passed. I think they really add a lot to a card, but dies are, in my opinion, much more important than embossing folders. I just glue those down. I just trimmed on my paper cutter a white border around those ghosts. And the Boo stamp is from the Rachel Bright Sizzix set. I mean, I use that set all the time. And the little bubble cutout, which I know other companies sell it, but that is from Lawn Fawn. And they have it's like tiny text stamp set, and then there was a matching die set that went with it. But if you had a steady hand, you could easy cut out a bubble or just make it a square or a rectangle. So the raven, this one for some reason was harder to think up. I really wanted to use that raven. So I embossed it, I believe, with the skull embossing folder. Then I thought he needs to have like a spotlight on him. So whenever I want something to really stick out, I use my silver glitter paper. It almost puts a light behind things. I use that. I had a leftover scrap that I used for the border from the plaid diamond paper. Just kind of cut it up with another piece of scrap paper that was laying next to my paper trimmer. Definitely, since it's going on top of glitter, use some liquid glue. And then I decide to use one of my label dies and cut the pad from him out from my fun foam, my self-adhesive fun foam, then put it on there. It just made, I don't know, it was starting to get very thick, and I find that fun foam to be thinner and more flexible than the Scotch foam tape. And it really did. It kind of hugged down on top of those layers and adhered beautifully. there he is. I line him up. And I think, this is the last card. So let me know if this is sped up too fast. I just go back through the cards, and you see I set the kitty aside because I wanted to do a little something extra. And I thought I was going to stick the ribbon down with a glue dot, but it just didn't look right on that skeleton. So I wind up, like I said, cutting it and adhering it down with score tape. The what are those called? Sequins. They looked okay, but I just didn't think the card needed any more black, so I go with 3 rhinestones. And here's a preview of the cards. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, and I will try to do another video today and get it out back on YouTube in maybe 2 days. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Happy Halloween.